Hello everybody and welcome to my dining room table, or as we like to call it these days, the office. Like many of you, we're currently working from home since the government enforced lockdown. It's been a new experience for me, but one I found surprisingly rewarding. First of all, I and all the team at Jeremy McGinn & Co would like to send our heartfelt thanks to both the NHS and all key workers for their tireless efforts in fighting this awful virus and keeping life as normal as possible. I'm sure that we will all appreciate the NHS far more when all this is over, and it's incredibly important to remember that this will be over. During this lockdown period, we've been bombarded every day with an overwhelming amount of information from the press and the media, which I don't know about you, but I've often found very, very confusing. However, it's a fact that the press and the media are a big contributor and play a massive part in how we view the economy and manage the direction of the market moving forward. And let's not forget, it was only a very short time ago that many in the media were trying to convince us that the market was going to fall off a cliff post-Brexit, when in actual fact we saw an immediate bounce in sales and inquiries immediately after the election, only to see this newfound confidence and momentum derailed somewhat by the current pandemic. At the moment, the truth is that in many respects the property industry has slowed right down, due largely to our inability to conduct physical viewings and valuations. However, those of us of a certain age can remember the boom and the crash in the late 80s, early 90s, when interest rates reached 16%, the floods in 98, foot and mouth in 2001, and the economic crash in 2008, all of which were huge issues from a property point of view. But guess what? The market recovered every time and continues to be an excellent investment. And let's face it, we all need somewhere to live. As many people begin to think about the property market post-pandemic, the obvious question many are asking is what will happen to house prices? And of course the truthful answer is nobody knows in the short term. But I feel confident that we can say the general outlook for property remains very positive. Following the market's pent-up demand awaiting clarity on Brexit, we saw the strongest start to the year since 2016. Despite lockdown now being extended for a further 3 weeks in recent days, we've begun to see an increase in inquiries and people researching online, preparing lists of properties to view post-pandemic. So as we hope to move towards the latter part of the current crisis, I think it's important to look forward, remain positive and plan for getting back to work. We're following the ever-changing updates from the government and constantly adapting our day-to-day working routine to follow guidelines whilst minimising the impact on the business. As someone very clever once said, necessity is the mother of invention. So with that in mind, we've created walkthrough video tours and invested heavily in new 360-degree camera equipment, enabling us to offer virtual viewings of properties where we can place applicants in the centre of the room and allow them to look through 360 degrees to ensure that we engage with buyers. One of the positives that we will take from this dreadful situation is to think more about what we do, to adjust to a changing world. And I feel sure that we as an industry will come out stronger and much more proactive with more to offer both sellers and buyers. Let's face it, we have never known interest rates as low, so in lots of cases it's still cheaper to buy rather than to rent. Although like many businesses we've been forced to furlough some staff, we're still here on a daily basis and ready to provide any assistance, especially to those in the middle of a transaction. We're also finding that attitudes vary so much between solicitors that much of our time is spent managing chains. So despite changes to our normal way of working, we are still working, even if not in the conventional way. We're still here on a daily basis and therefore accessible through all of our normal channels to provide any assistance or advice in the best way we can. Through all of this, one thing is absolutely for sure, and that is that we're in unprecedented times, and we all need to do our bit to get the nation through this and look forward to better times ahead. Thanks for watching. For now, stay safe, protect the NHS, wash your hands, and hope to see you on the other side. Thank you.